Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd, 2019. Thanks for joining us tonight. I want to send a special thank you to Mari today for keeping us updated with the severe weather outbreak that we've experienced here across the Central Plains over the past several days. Let's go ahead and start into our space weather section of our news tonight. A solar wind speed sitting at 343.9 kilometers per second with a density hitting at 7.0. Once again, our sun is blank. This will put us at 3 days in a row now, 77 days for 2019 without sunspots, 54% of the year. And we will check out our KP indices and other stats over here at the grandsolarminimum.com. Again, we're hanging around at the 1 KP level, 24-hour max of a 2. And not much happening right now on our star. We have a little bit of a coronal hole that we expect to see increase in solar wind speeds on the 23rd and the 24th. I'm sorry, the 22nd and the 23rd. And right now, nothing appears to be happening on the far eastern limb. No new coronal holes. Actually, nothing to be too concerned about, but the only thing that we do have to look at here is in the southern region. I'll go ahead and move that up a little bit so we can have a better look-see. And that right there might graze the southern part of our magnetic field. But other than that, pretty quiet when it comes to solar activity after having a couple of weeks of interesting situations developing on our star. Now let's take a look at the sun minus the stereo B section. Right now we don't have any major active regions since the AR 2740 and 41 just barely turned the western limb of the star. So right now we don't have any sunspots or any major coronal holes to speak of or to warn about at this time. And we'll take a look at our TSI, which today it comes in for May 13, 2019. 1360.61 is our current TSI reading for that date. All right, let's get right into it. We talked about Mississippi a couple different times. This is all tied into why we're seeing all this flooding everywhere in the Delta. But as of May 21st, 2019, the Mississippi River at Natchez, Mississippi, has been above flood stage, 48 feet, for 137 consecutive days. Now, this is well longer than any time since 1927, when the previous record was set of 77 days. So let's soak that in for a minute. No pun intended. 77 days was the previous record. And we are definitely going to approach doubling this length, if not further. The Mississippi River has been above flood stage at Natchez since January 4th, said Marty Pope, a senior hydrologist of the National Weather Service in Jackson. Also Tuesday, May 21st, the Mississippi River reached a projected crest of 57.39. So 48 feet is the record flood stage, all right? 137 days. And we're talking about it cresting almost 10 feet above where it's been sitting at for the past 137 days. The river is expected to stay at the May 21st level for the next 3 to 4 days with little fluctuation before it starts to fall, Pope said. He estimates the Mississippi at Natchez will stay above flood stage through late June and perhaps even in July. So we will smash that record of 77 days and possibly threaten 200 days, possible. If they're talking about going in late July, that's exactly 60 days from now. We are at 137, is that what I said? 66 days on top of that. We'll be very close to almost 200 days of that part of the Mississippi being at flood stage. Absolutely sobering when you look at the information like this. And also he wants to note the upper part of the river will go back up again, like around Cairo, Illinois, where the confluence of the two rivers, the Ohio and Mississippi, come together. Adding the rainfall there is expected to have little effect on the river level at Natchez by the time it moves downriver. So again, this is just from the up and down parts of the river being flooded from snow, heavy rain. Moving along, other parts of the world, heavy rainfall has been affecting northern, central, eastern, and southeastern Paraguay since the beginning of April. So parts of Mississippi have seen flood stages since January, some March, some February. And we're talking about other regions of the world have been affected by floodwaters since at least April, triggering floods that resulted in casualties and widespread damage. The most affected are Presidente Hayes, Central, San Pedro, Concepcion, Cordilleria, Capital, Asunción, Nimbuku, Bocoran, and Alto Paraguay departments. As of May 20th, the death toll stands at 16. 6 people have died in Presidente Hayes, 5 in Asunción, 3 in Nimbuku, 1 in Concepcion, and 1 in Alto Paraguay. More than 19,000 families evacuated throughout the affected departments. In particular, 12,583 families were reported displaced by the Asunción area, of which 11,000 are hosted in 118 shelters. The same sources report that at least 62,000 families affected across the country as well. The rising water has been cut off to communities of Presidente Hayes and Alto Paraguay, and medical aid have been sent to attend any situation to prevent citizens from more human loss. According to the Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology of May 19, 2019 report, the Paraguay River level is currently in a critic state at 23.7 feet. In Asunción, it's at 22.5 feet. In Rosario, it's in 27.8 feet in Pilar. So, another part of this world, not here in the U.S., but just another region where we have seen heavy rains. This is not a coincidence, folks. Severe floods hit the capital, Bamako, claiming at least 15 lives. The start of the rainy season claimed the lives of at least 15 people, caused significant damage in Bamako, Mali. Flooding streets, floating cars, and injured residents were just some of the things that the city lived through on May 17, 2019. A sudden heavy overnight rain whipped up the capital, Mali, flooded several of its parts up about 8.2 feet high in water. According to First News, it started around 300 UTC and lasted for about 6 hours. Deadly floods have ravaged the West African nation of Mali. Bamako has hit the hardest. Flooding is common in the country, but again, just an all too familiar sight here of flooding and over a long period of time of heavy precipitation. Extremely heavy rain hits Yakushima Island, Japan. 16.5 inches of rain. I don't have to go through this word for word. I will tell you this. There was a rainfall rate of 1.9 inches per hour. And I'm not going to show you this video because every time I show a video from Japan, any kind of Japan media, I always get some kind of weird request to take it down. So you guys can check it out here in the links in the description, or go to watchers.news for excellent coverage. But again, they just had similar rainfall in Okinawa, heavy rainfall event on May 13th, where they had 14.4 inches of rain in just 6 hours. So within 8 days, we see a repeat. So where am I going with this, guys? I hate to be a broken record, but these are not the doings of a man-made situation. This is natural. No matter how much climate action that these policymakers out there are going to try to do, it's not gonna help this now, next year, 5 years from now. The flooding all over the world, the point I'm trying to make here is that we never saw this many headlines, and this is just for today. I'm sure I could have found more, but I found 4 today. They're talking about flooding, 100-year-old records being smashed, slaughtered, to say the least. When you're talking about 77 days, it remained at flood stage of 48.3, and now we're talking that we're in the 137th day. It's almost 100% more than the last time, 1927. And all over the world, we're seeing these stories of 16 and a half inches, 12 inches of rain, 12 hours, 6 hours, whatever the case may be. You go over here to SPACEWEATHER.com. And you guys, where do we get this information? Why do we keep talking about cosmic ray influx? Let's take a look here. They do a study here at this page that shows us the rate of cosmic rays that we are seeing. They give us a monthly report on the update of the dose rate of radiation that we're getting from these cosmic rays. And they also give us the percentage on how much more of an increase that we're seeing with cosmic rays. Of course, this data goes up from till October 28th. Let me try to see if I can get something more current here. What we were measuring today, this is what they're looking at right now. October, that's not right. Sorry, folks. I should have been a little more prepared. But my point is that we talk about this all the time. You hear us talk about cosmic ray influx. Cosmic rays are highly charged particles that seed our atmosphere and create cloud nucleation. And with water vapor in the atmosphere, because let's face it, folks, 2016 we had an El Nino, so we had a warm spike. All right, puts more vapor in the atmosphere when you have warmer temperatures. It was a fact. We were at 0.88 February 2016. That is part and due to the slightly stronger than moderate El Nino. But that puts more water vapor into the atmosphere. And when you increase your cosmic rays on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis, okay, and these cosmic rays, you have to think of them as they're highly charged particles, and without particles, you don't get raindrops or snowflakes. So you have water vapor, you have particulates in the atmosphere already, plus the cosmic rays that are interacting with the particulates in our atmosphere, which is creating these events of 12 inches of rain in 12 hours or 16 inches of rain in 12 hours, or the enormous amount of rain that falls in a quick amount of time is mind-boggling. And I have to get the footage up still to this day, but what we experienced just a couple days ago, Sunday, up here in upstate New York, where the rain was so heavy that we actually had to pull off the road and give it a few minutes so we could actually see again. You couldn't see the car in front of you, even with the tail lights and hazard lights blinking, you still couldn't see it. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform, buy a t-shirt, or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.